Welcome to another exciting episode of Media Outlier, the video podcast that explores key topics and challenges of the media industry. Today we'll continue our journey with our guest from London, Fabiano Madonna, Digital Analytics Manager at Publicis Media. In this episode, we'll discuss the importance of marketing mix modeling and how it can guide channel mix to drive effectiveness. Welcome, Fabiano. It's fantastic to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here and share insights into the fascinating world of marketing mix modeling.
We will explore this topic with the incredible lineup of global experts in this field who are with us today. Richard Wieberg, partner and MMM expert at Pace.
Thank you very much.
Ridhima Kumar, Chief Marketing Mix Modeling Officer at Arima Labs.
Thank you.
Michael Kaminsky, founder at Recast.
Thank you for having me.
Amar Bassett, Global Marketing Effectiveness Analytics Lead at Halion.
Thank you.
Matt Andrew, General Manager at Ecometrics.
Hi, it's great to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Welcome all. Let's dive right in. Fabiano, our listeners are eager to know, what exactly is marketing mix modeling and how does it play a role in guiding channel mix for enhanced effectiveness?
Think of marketing mix modeling as a GPS for marketers. It's a powerful analytical tool that helps us understand the impact of different marketing channels on business outcomes. Imagine you are planning a road trip and you want to find the most efficient route to reach your destination. Marketing mix modeling does just that, but for your marketing efforts. It quantifies the contribution of each channel, whether it's TV ads, social media, or even influencer collaborations, in driving sales or other key performance metrics. Unlike some other measurement techniques, MMM has a unique advantage. It evaluates the impact of all media, both online and offline. And it's designed to capture not just short-term effects, but also the long-term impact of advertising. In essence, MMM provides an holistic view of how different marketing elements contribute to the overall success.
That's a fantastic analogy, Fabiano. Now, can you give our listeners who might be new to this topic a simple yet striking example of how marketing mix modeling has resulted in an unexpected insight or a pivotal decision?
Absolutely. Picture this. A retail giant was investing heavily in traditional advertising, like print and radio. However, after diving into their data using marketing mix modeling, they uncovered that their online social media campaigns were significantly more effective in driving sales. This revelation completely shifted their channel mix strategy. They reallocated resources from traditional media to social media, resulting in a remarkable boost in ROI. It just goes to show how data-driven insights can challenge conventional wisdom and steer us in the right direction.
That's a powerful story of data-driven transformation, Fabiano. Now, our listeners often wonder about the challenges of implementing such a sophisticated approach. Could you shed some light on the hurdles companies might face when adopting marketing mix modeling and how they can overcome them?
Sure, and this is where the quote by Peter Drucker comes to mind. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. One of the challenges companies might face is ensuring they have accurate, comprehensive data. Sometimes the data might be fragmented or not captured properly across all channels. However, by investing in robust data collection processes and advanced analytics tools, companies can bridge this gap and ensure they have a complete picture of their marketing efforts. Additionally, understanding that marketing mix modeling is a journey and not a one-time solution is key. Iterative testing and refinement are essential to continuously enhance accuracy and relevance.
Richard, what is the biggest mistake when we do MMM?
I would say the time frame. We focus too much on sales when the campaign is live. It feels so much better when you can report great sales numbers and impressive ROI, but that's often an illusion. Because sales spikes are not caused by advertising in general. It's caused by seasonal effects, price promotion, and tight targeting. That means we convert the few people in the market who are ready to buy right now. So when the campaign is over, sales goes down and your profit margins will be hurt. I have seen the sugar rush so many times, even for brands doing marketing mix modeling. Instead, we have to be more patient. In building mental and physical availability, that takes time and a different mindset, because you should reach as many as you can in the category. You must accept lower incremental sales uplift and ROI in the short term, and focus a lot more on improving baseline sales for the long term. Why? Because growing baseline sales eat incremental sales for breakfast and is the key for effective growth. Marketing mix modeling help us understand how to achieve it, so let us learn from the short term but always plan for the long term, even if it means sacrificing a small bit of ROI in the short term.
Fabiano, now for our listeners who are eager to harness the power of marketing mix modeling, could you share some practical tips or best practices to get started on the right foot?
Of course. Firstly, start with a clear goal in mind. What specific business outcome do you want to optimize? This could be sales, brand awareness, or even customer engagement. Secondly, assemble a diverse team with expertise in analytics, marketing, and data science. Collaboration is key to deciphering the insights hidden within your data. And finally, embrace the technology available. Advanced tools and algorithms can help you analyze complex interactions between channels and provide actionable insights. Remember, it's not just about the data, but how you interpret and act on it that truly drives success.
Redeemer, is MMM fully automatable?
That's a great question. I believe that MM is an area which requires deep statistical and domain know-how. And the analogy which I usually give for marketing mix modeling is that of a Flintstones car. I'm sure some of us would have seen the Flintstones car and how Flintstones powers the car through his legs. So much like the Flintstones car, MM can only be semi-automated. And both the Flintstones car and the MM require a lot of legwork. MM more so because at the core of it lies an econometric and a causal problem.
What are the benefits of updating MMM models and how frequently should they be updated?
The analogy I use is that of a movie making. So, movie is a series of snapshots put together, and MM in a way is a snapshot of reality. Now, the problem with a snapshot is that it gives you information only at a single point in time. But in reality, markets are very dynamic, things are evolving constantly. So, it just makes sense to get more frequent updates about the reality. So, just like a series of snapshots put together make a movie, a series of model updates give you the motion picture of your market. Coming to how often you should update your models, well, it depends on the advertisement efforts. If you're launching short term digital campaigns, it makes sense to update weekly. But if you advertise on channels like TV, launch more brand building campaigns, it makes sense to update monthly or quarterly.
Great insights, Redeemer. Michael, why has the promise of MMM not delivered results?
The promise of marketing mix modeling has been huge. The idea is that we can measure all of our channels all of the time. It sounds great. But I think in large part, marketing mix models haven't really delivered on that promise historically, because frankly, a lot of what has been sold as a marketing mix model was always snake oil. People, vendors, statisticians, consultants, whoever, overpromised what these types of statistical methods can do and then consistently underdelivered on them. I think the future of cross-media measurement, yes, involves marketing mix modeling, but it involves putting marketing mix modeling in the context where it can actually be successful in combination with lift testing and experiments that can keep those results grounded in reality, taking a test and learn approach to driving performance instead of running a model once every 6 months, changing the budget, and then just crossing our fingers and hoping that it works out on the other side. We need methods for consistently and continuously testing and validating these models so that we know that we're making decisions that are actually rooted in ground truth and moving the business in the right direction.
Matt, what are the right conditions to create meaningful impact from MMM and marketing measurement initiatives?
So, in thinking about some of the paths that you can take to create impact with an MMM program, there's really two ways you can go, and the one way that most people default to, which is probably one of the first mistakes, is actually to think about just going down into detail and really seeing MMM as an optimization exercise in terms of going deeper into granularity. And in terms of really just switching budget between channels, between activities, and saying, yep, that's the job done. We've kind of optimized and we've pushed a media plan out and we've created some impact. The way to really think is to say, how do we actually move up? How do we challenge the business model, how we're making our investments, and how do we say, is that the right thing for us? Is that leading to greater long-term outcomes? And is it making sure that we're actually moving to a more positive and healthy way to drive our investment decisions versus just instilling the way that we're making decisions now? So that can be over the next three-year period. How much do we want to rely on paid media versus owned, earned, and shared activities, like things like influencers or things like kind of the trade marketing investments that you have in different retail environments? How are those as part of the mix really going to drive the best long-term effect overall? So that this way of challenging the business model of looking up is a really great thing to go into a measurement program wanting to achieve, because it really avoids just seeing MMM as an optimization exercise and actually something where you're really measuring and understanding what drives the business.
How do you navigate the human and organizational side of marketing with what is working for the consumer?
So one of the things that we see across many MMM programs is that you get lots of great recommendations that come out, but then sometimes they're struggling to create an impact in the organization. And the real question to that is why is that happening? Why does something make sense on paper? Does it make sense from a model perspective? Does it even make sense in the discussion that you have in the room? But then you struggle to get the impact that comes through. And really, this is where the kind of data and analytics side of marketing hits the human side of marketing, not just the human side of marketing in terms of creative and creative effectiveness and things that are harder really to iron out and reduce to data terms, but human incentive in terms of creating creating an impact through the process. And by human incentive, I mean ultimately marketers have fairly short tenures in roles. Marketers generally want to make an impact to show what they have personally been able to drive in terms of that role to keep progressing as they move forwards. And actually, a lot of the things that we see in marketing effectiveness is that it's consistency, it's pressure over time, it's making the right decisions that lead to really driving distinctive assets for a brand, increasing salience in the market. Those are the things that require consistency. And ultimately, consistency isn't the thing that helps you stand out as an individual in an organization. So what is necessary to change that? Because it's not an easy change, and it's really one of the biggest and most fundamental areas why MMM programs can fail to make an impact is not properly tackling this human side of how things are executed. The first is making sure that senior stakeholders have the real understanding of this challenge in terms of making the impact felt, and making sure that the team are empowered to understand that their role in following recommendations is also something that is going to be an important part of how the effectiveness of those decisions are kind of understood and captured. So by making a decision that's led or come to through the program that then plays out, and you're seeing growth in the market, that actually it's a good decision on the side of the marketer, and it's part of their own personal growth and development as well. And actually really making sure that that is articulated through brand strategies, that the kind of the data backing of decisions to not change, to stick with a creative, to stick with their distinctive assets that a company have been trying to build over time, to not do this train station takeover event for a single day, because actually with the size of budget you have and all the other factors, it's probably better to do this digital video campaign instead, and lots of other things. There's a lot of considerations to take into account in terms of getting people to want to take action based on the MMM results, and to still see that they can have their personal growth and the kind of incentives for them personally in making that happen. So if you're able to tackle that through the program, through the way senior leadership talk about it, and through how it links into the different roles and objectives of people in the team that need to action these, then it can be a really powerful driver of change and make a lot of impacts. If you're not tackling those, then that's where you can really clash between the data, between people and their own ambitions and objectives, and ultimately can fail to make the impact.
Amal, how can an organization effectively embed marketing mix modeling to drive effectiveness?
So it's a mammoth task. It's not easy, especially when there are multiple departments. There's overthinking and there's expectation to win quick and fast with little budget. And some of the challenges you might face with embedding MMM in huge organizations, such as Unilever, Mars, Haleon, is firstly the understanding of MMM, the interpretation, the buy-in from senior stakeholders, the resource and time required for MMM inputs, and also to embed MMM. Consolidation. So how do you consolidate results if you're doing many brands in one market? What's the best way? And then, of course, the challenges, meeting expectations of doing it faster. However, what we've done, or the best practices we've learned, is you need to design training and bespoke training for each of the markets. So you could divide your training into different modular forms, whether it's interpretation of the MMM, whether it's usage of MMM, whether it's sharing case studies and successful stories of how MMM has been used in other markets across different brands. That's always really good for inspiration. Of course, distilling complex information into simple visuals. So there's a lot of information like halo, which can get confusing, or something like ad stock or decay effect. So distilling that kind of information into visual has really strong impact. Of course, connecting with experts, connecting with different departments across the organization that may help you with the deployment of MMM across their teams in different markets really adds leverage as well. Apart from the buy-in, also inviting markets and inviting teams and getting them on board and how they can use MMM to test different media initiatives, learn about their performance, whether they performed well, the performance didn't, and really getting to the habit of, whatever I'm doing from a media perspective, I can get that evaluated by an MMM, and showing them the benefit. And of course, regardless, a lot of organizations and teams think that MMM is historic, which it is, but you can also increase buy-in by showing them the future as well. How can I use MMM outputs to optimize my media spend for the following years? How can I better plan my initiatives? So it's really all about doing whatever you can through the MMM. And these are some of the ways that you can drive effectiveness within an organization.
Based on your experience, what is the best approach to set up a global MMM program within a big organization?
It's a big task, especially when an organization is used to doing MMMs within market. So the market has the choice of their own supplier, their frequency, what brands they do it on, and so forth. So at this stage, for this question, let's assume that, your organization needs an MMM. They see the benefits of having a global MMM program under a single vendor. The global team decides the brands, so you target the brands with big media budgets, and you ignore the tail brands. So first, what you would do, in my opinion, would be you would explore the data landscape. So if you select one or two brands in a specific country with high media spend, you would take those brands and see, how does the data landscape look from a sales point of view, from a media data point of view. So is it easy to get TV data, whether it's weekly, monthly? Is it easy to get social data? Is it easy to get digital display data, search data, and the list goes on? I think another important aspect of data is the data continuous, which you have it for the coming years. You wouldn't want to get into a situation where you deploy your global program only to discover that after 12 months, a lot of the markets that were on your program don't get a critical part of data anymore. So that's an important thing. Then it comes to the vendor. Which vendor would you like to work with for the marketing mix modeling? And this is quite important. You have to check for the vendor's credibility. You have to, of course, cost is important, but more than that is what clients have they worked with and how have they helped their clients drive effectiveness within an organization. Apart from that, you need your vendor to give you an idea of how your account will be serviced in different phases of the program. So for example, if you're doing 5 MMMs per year with them, 10, 15, 20, how would that look? How would they scale up? How would they support your account? But also, how would they drive value through the deliveries as well? Will they give you customized decks per market? Will they give you tools to support after they've they've provided the results to the market? Is there a tool to optimize your media spend? Do they provide ad hoc support to markets if they have further questions on delivery or not? So I think these are quite important questions to ask when you're thinking about which vendor you should go with. And of course, speak to your counterparts in other organizations. If they work with a certain vendor, always take their advice, always take their views on how they found working with the vendor. Was it a positive experience? Was it a negative experience? What could have been done better? So assume that you select a vendor you would like to work with. The next step would be maybe going to a market and selecting one or two pilots and seeing how that goes. If that one or two pilots you think are successful, then you could think of rolling up. And then during that scale up, it'll also involve designing a process which would help you cascade or set up the global program within the organization. And with time, you fine-tune the process, you fine-tune deliveries, and hopefully, within a year and a half, 2 years, you're in a really good place where you have a global program, you have the foundation set, and which will allow you to scale up to other markets.
Extremely useful insights. Thank you, Amar. That concludes today's episode of Media Outlier. A big thank you to all the experts who joined us today, sharing their expertise on marketing mix modeling and how it shapes effective channel strategies. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes.